Hello and welcome to our viewers joining us from all around the world. You are watching CNN Newsroom and I'm Rosemary. Now in terms of Western countries, there are lots of condemnation, Rosemary, but unclear if there will be sanction and what bite, if any of those sanctions could have given Myanmar's cozy relationship with the Chinese government. And China is rather benign response to all of this, saying they hope the internal sides can work things out. Many thanks to our will replay bring us the very declaring a state of emergency, taking power away from the elected civilian leaders, making unfounded accusation of widespread voter fraud, and potentially returning the country to a dictatorship or reconstructing some of a government that has the look of democracy, but has the powers and players in place that the military leaders want. But what is clear here is that the people who were in power on the military side didn't like the fact that their proxy party got so few votes, and when they disputed the election and felt that civilian government turned the other way, they decided to take matters into their own. But in recent years, it was seen by some on the outside that she could perhaps curd favor with the military, which despite the illusion of civilian control, still he held quite a tight grip on many key government functions. When she went to the United Nations and defended the accusation towards of genocide towards Rohingya Muslims at the hand of the military that had ruled with Myanmar with a brutal dictatorship for 50 years, before agreeing around a decade ago to this experiment with democracy, while also writing a constitution to enable what happened just in last couple of. But if you look at these images of tanks and soldiers and military trucks standing guard, it's clear that however many civilians elected members of government are being held there, they are being held under tight security with very limited communication with the outside world. It is a condition that Aung San Suu Kyi is pretty accustomed to, as the same military that is detaining her now put her under house arrest over a 20 years period. About 15 of those 20 years. CNN's Will Replace join me now from Hong Kong with more on this. Good to see you, Will. So, what is the latest on a fail from the military coup? What more are you learning about Aung San Suu Kyi and these other detained officials? Hi, Rosemary. We don't have a lot of information aside from the tidbits that are coming out from the guest house in the capital of Nay Pyi Taw. People are constantly trying to resume their daily lives as troops and checkpoints spread around the capital. Troops are standing guard outside the government guest house, and at least some of the politicians detained in coups say they are being held there. There are growing calls from within Myanmar and from international communication for their release. But we will of course continue this story and hopefully get back to this. We'll move on for now. Alright. Well, soldiers have been out in force today in Myanmar one day after the military seized power in a coup. The prominent Kremlin critic could face 3.5 years behind bars, and CNN's Frederick Plagen join us now. Well, we actually were going to try and get Fred a little late. CNN teams have seen a heavy police presence outside of the courthouse. The courthouse is set to rule on whether Navan Lee should face jail time for violating the terms of his probation while he was in Germany being treated for nerve agent poisoning. In the UK is ramping up testing in areas where COVID variant is spreading. We are live in Moscow, Hong Kong, London this hour. Good to have you with us. Well, we begin this hour in a Moscow courtroom where Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny is about to learn his fate. CNN team has seen a heavy just ahead. A Russian court is soon expected to hand jail time to the Kremlin's topic critic as Vladimir Putin battles growing dissent. Fears in Myanmar that the coup could be a sign for more crackdowns to come from a country only recently freed from military